So this is my 1.6 HDI Peugeot Partner, 2007, roughly about 103,000 miles. And I recently replaced the turbo cartridge on that engine. Well, I say recently, but it's been about 6 months now, but it's working perfectly. You can view the first of the videos here. But how much does it really cost to replace the turbo DIY without going to a garage? Stay tuned. So I've laid all the components that I needed, apart from tools of course, and I'll start with a turbo cartridge. And that's Nerings turbo cartridge. I'm not affiliated with them, I'm not sponsoring them or anything. I just bought it on YouTube, and it's really well packaged. It came in that, and the new cartridge is already in the turbo, so this is my old cartridge. Good packaging, that's really a soft foam. And it's inside like that, and this is my my old cartridge that came out of the car. The new turbo cartridge look exactly the same. It's got a seal, and it's got a gasket for the oil return. So how much does it cost? The Nerings, it's £80. Next is the Nerings turbocharger kit. It's got quite a few bits and pieces. Some are from the old one, of course. So first of all, you've got the oil feed, and this is my old one. The new one is pretty shiny. It's not that oily. Second in this kit, there is a oil return. Oil pickup, a whole oil pickup with bolts and with a gasket. I haven't really replaced that one because there was no need. The pickup, the mesh was really pretty clean. There was no debris, so I haven't replaced that one. But well, it was part of the kit. Next in the kit, you've got the bolts as well, the banjo bolts that go on these two for the oil feed. Quite importantly, let me shine a torch on that one. So this is the old design. These are the bolts that came from the turbo. This is the old design, and this is metal mesh. The other, if you see the video, the other is a plastic filter that goes. It's quite large depth, so it will filter better than this could kind of get clogged. So it comes the kit comes with the washers as well. Next in the kit is oil return. So this is actually the new one. I reused the old one. One doesn't quite need it. Is the oil return pipe, oil return kind of metal component that goes on the turbo cartridge and turns the oil. I reused the old one, so I haven't used that one. And lastly, the kit. I mean, you've got two rubber washers for the turbo. The seal here, I mean, I only used one, so this is one spare. So this is and how much does it cost all this? This is £70. Next thing, I bought this turbo gasket set, which I did not really use at all, but it's good to have. It's a syringe for putting oil on the turbo. So you've got a gasket for the exhaust side of the turbo, a gasket for the oil return on the turbo. So 4 washers, another rubber of these seals, and what you also have is 4 bolts plus the copper nuts for the exhaust side that bolts onto the engine. I didn't really need to do that. I didn't remove the exhaust side of the turbo. I didn't really remove it, so I didn't use it. I just had it as a backup variant in case, because these bolts need to be replaced. So I had it as a backup variant. How much did this cost? This is £18.99, or roughly about £19. Of course, when you drain, when you do this, it's good really to drain the oil, put a new oil in. So I'm using 2000 Quartz Ineo ECS, that's 5W30, that's recommended for this engine. So this is 5 liter oil. So the engine has roughly about 3.75 liters of oil can take in. So you need 2 of these, and I've put 2 of these here. So each costs $29.50. Next thing, of course, to the oil, you also need a oil filter. That's the oil filter I'm using. It's a Bosch, where you can buy any other man and so on. So you need 2 of these. So first you drain the oil, you put one, then you run it for roughly about 100 miles, and then you replace it again with a new. So 2 of these. So each costs £6.87. Last thing is the oil sump. It's a good idea really to drop the old sump and inspect the pickup or replace the pickup, see if there any debris, clean it, and generally just put a new one. These are metal, so they rust underneath and so on, so it's a good idea to put a new one. So this one I bought from Eurocar Parts. You can buy it from eBay or anywhere. So from Eurocar Parts, with some discount, it was £57. But of course this could be had for less, and it is fairly the same. It's exactly the same. It's not really that different. It could be had for £36, for example. And lastly, for the sealing the sump, I got these red high temp RTV silicone gasket made in the USA. It was really worked really well. Surprised how good it was. It was £4.95. So of course you have got these numbers here. So how much does it cost overall? So when you sum these up, it's roughly about £303.68. So roughly about £300 to replace the whole turbo, the sump, twice the oil, and pretty much everything. Of course, it's a bit disingenuous because all the tools required are not included in this cost. But the tools are not really that specialized. You just need a torque wrench and a few other bits and pieces. The torque wrench is a bit more expensive, but you use it for quite a lot of other stuff. Overall cost roughly about £300. The other thing that's not included in this price is the time to really do the turbo. For me, it took 4 days, full working hours, let's say roughly about 6 hours a day for 4 days, really completely did everything. So this is 4 days of working time and roughly about £300. So if your turbo is gone, or somebody has told you that you need to replace the turbo, this is the price, really, just components and so you can do it yourself if you want to. So I've heard stories that being quoted £1,500, £2,000. The cheapest I've ever heard is £1,200. Of course, you can do that yourself. It's not really that difficult. And hope that is useful. How much exactly costs to replace a turbo on these 1.6 HGA engines, DIY style. This is the price. All the description of the components, all the components in the description of the video, so you can see them, how much they are. There will be links there. So thank you very much indeed. Hope that is useful to someone. Thank you.